Yeah, the Aztecs and the Tritons going in opposite directions.
Nice headline there. We expected too much at San Diego State. I expected too much. Maybe you expected too much. This just does not appear to be the same type of team that beat the University of Houston and was top ranked early in the season. They're just going in the wrong direction. I mean, the Aztecs played so poorly at Colorado State, and that's not a dominant CSU Rams basketball team. And the Aztecs are really hurting. They might not make the tournament. They are now at 16-6. Three tough losses in the conference. I should say 4 tough losses. 4 losses in the conference. 3 other games they should have lost in the conference. They did not. We're not seeing the consistency of the vintage defense. Their 3-point shooting has just totally fallen off the face of the earth, and that's what carried them very early. Erratic outside shooting from a lot of people, including Miles Bird. Guath has really become an established star in this conference, but there's no supportive help around him. In this game at Colorado State, they had 1 basket in 24 possessions in the second half, over an 11-minute and 14-second span. Think about that. 1 basket in 24 possessions. Their guards went a combined 9 for 34. They gave up 44 rebounds. They're getting blasted on the boards. And it is hard. I really swear to you, it's hard to put a rectangular brick through a cylinder when you're shooting free throws. They missed 10 free throws, including 6 in a row. Just a bad situation. San Diego State is not who we thought they might be. I guess the bigger surprise, Brian Dutcher's teams historically have always grown and gotten better and better as the season's gone on, as we got towards tournament time. These guys haven't grown. I think they're less of a team now than they were early in the season when they beat Boise and when they shocked the University of Houston. So, real tough set of circumstances. In terms of the other team in town, the Union Tribune wrote today, the best basketball team in San Diego is at UCSD, the Tritons. They are 20-4, and they went to Irvine and they lit up the Anteaters. UCSD hit 16 threes. McGee and his guys and Tate Jones, that's one of the better players on the West Coast that nobody pays any attention to, and he's been rock solid consistent. So we got 2 teams doing really well, and I feel really bad for Steve Lavin because that's a university infrastructure support situation. They're 4-22 at USD. I hope he doesn't lose his job. Maybe some people will question whether or not he's lost touch with modern-day basketball because he was out of it for so long while he was doing TV, the ex-UCLA St. John's coach. But they just don't have enough players, and I wonder whether or not they had enough NIL money to keep players. So he's having a really tough season at 4-22. So, John, do an autopsy on the Aztecs. Going to hand out diplomas for the Tritons. And what do you think about USD?
Okay, on USD, first of all, Lavin's not the problem. Okay, I mean, like you say, it's infrastructure. He's only been there a year.
2 years.
2 years, okay. But still, hopefully, I mean, Lavin has wanted to come back to the West Coast Conference. I know that, he had flirted with the idea of maybe being a coach at USF, so I just think he's at home. Hopefully he's committed long-term and the Ferreros will commit long-term to him. It's going to take a while to rebuild that. I am ecstatic about the UC San Diego Tritons. And this is their first year in Division I eligibility for the postseason. And there they are, tied for first place with UC Irvine. It's a huge story in basketball, not just here in San Diego. And like you've talked about Tate Jones and McGuy, but how about like Hayden Gray? I mean, one of the best defensive players of the year. He was put up on that list of the top 10 for the Naismith Award. Greg Olin does a great job as a coach. UCSD, like when I went there in the 80s, they were a Division III school. They played like Pomona Pitzer, they played these tiny schools. And now they're going up against the best in the Big West, which granted isn't, the SEC or the Big Ten. but they're at the top of the list. So you've still a one bid conference, or right, a one bid conference. So they've got to win the tournament, but they've proven that they can beat Irvine, and they've proven that they can beat Riverside.
I never thought they were going to beat Irvine up there because Irvine was really good, and San Diego or UCSD just went in there and just bombs away. You hit 16 threes in a game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they've always been a good three-point team for the last couple of years. So I'm ecstatic. So hopefully they can hold serve for the rest of the regular season and go into the Big West Conference as the 1 seed. Maybe it's the 2. I don't know how they're going to sort it out.
All right, Aztecs, not whom we thought they would be.
Brutal. Watching that game, first of all, they're young. We have to keep that in mind, that they're young and they make mistakes and they're a little too much hero ball at times. Miles Bird looked gassed in the second half, and a lot of the other players did well as well. I mean, Magoon Wath has been just this blossoming superstar, but the rest of the squad, they kind of disappear a little bit. It just seems like they've been scouted, that the defense, the other teams are playing on the Aztecs can kind of outthink them. And we've had a consistent problem with the rebounding. And, Jared Coleman-Jones is back, which is great, but he's not really a tough guy down low. And sometimes he can disappear. Sometimes Pharaoh Compton can kind of be in the wrong position for rebound. So they got work to do there. But the free throw shooting, I mean, Miles Heide, come on, man. Just take some practice shots. Get at least to 50%.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that just blows my mind is this late into the schedule, the erratic outside shooting of Bird and Boyd. I mean, their first halves have just been horrid in a whole bunch of recent games that they wound up losing.
But Boyd looked a little bit better in the game against Colorado State. But and Bird has his moments. But the challenge is that they get out Aztec'd, because it seems like all the other Mountain West coaches have followed a similar philosophy, and sometimes they just get out tough down low.
They're getting a taste of their own medicine right now.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's all things college basketball. If you want to shoot a three-point shot, no air balls, only good comments. Fans Forum chat box is open to talk hoops.